footage of Okugawa actually angry.
In the video game world, many genres, games, and franchises come and go. Some important games may have a lasting impact, but that impact dies off after a while. We may eventually look back at some of these important games and see them as outdated or obsolete. But if there's one game that I think has broken that, has stood the test of time, and has cemented itself as one of the greatest games ever made, it has to be Street Fighter III Third Strike. Not only is it one of the best and most important entries in the fighting game genre, but it also helped to create the world of esports as we know it. Hi, my name is Jay, and these are the Gaming Essentials. As you can probably tell by my Evil Moment 37 framed picture, and from my top 5 video games of all time list, I love fighting games and Street Fighter. And today I'm happy to be talking about one of the best there is, Street Fighter III Third Strike. Street Fighter III Third Strike turns 25 this year, and Evil Moment 37 turns 20. Even though a lot of time has passed since then, there's something classic and timeless about this game and about this historic event that nothing else since then has come close to how insane and bonkers both are. The fighting game genre is one of the most exhilarating and intense genres there is. As two players duke it out in a digital arena, it's a mental battle of wits, dexterity, fast-paced decision-making, reflexes, and composure. But it's also a genre with beautiful pixel art, amazing hip-hop, jazz, and epic soundtracks, and a crazy ensemble of characters. And no other fighting game embodies this blend of sports and digital creativity perfectly like Street Fighter III Third Strike. So whether you're a die-hard Oro player who knows all of the characters' unblockable setups, or have never even touched a fighting game before, allow me to express why I love Street Fighter III Third Strike so much, and why it's a gaming essential. For someone on the outside, the fighting game genre is a niche one that can be hard to get into. Some people watching this may even ask why this is on the list of gaming essentials. But I think that's why this game deserves to be here, as there's something so unique and different about fighting games that separates it from anything else.
You win.
Fighting games are different because it's at the intersection of video games and sports. Even though fighting games are still very much video games, there's also a level of training, athleticism, discipline, and skill required to do well in them. The best players in the world practice for hours and hours on end, practicing combos and various scenarios, testing their reflexes and discovering new possibilities within the rules of the game. It is very much a sport in every sense of the word, as players learn to keep their composure, calm their nerves, and perform to the best of their ability. But that doesn't mean that you have to do the same to enjoy it. Even if you're just a casual fan who likes to watch high-level tournaments now and then, or listen to fighting game soundtracks at the gym, you're still part of the fighting game community. And that's what makes Street Fighter III Third Strike the perfect fighting game to include here in this collection. It's a game that everyone can enjoy, from the pros who've been competing in fighting games for decades, down to the sideline observers who are not interested in competing themselves, but enjoy the game just for the fun of it. In my other videos, this is the part where I would talk about the game's story. While I could go into a long-winded explanation of the game's lore, the backstories of each character, and explain where Street Fighter III Third Strike lies on the series' timeline, that to me has never been the main story of fighting games. The main story in fighting games is the ones we partake in. It's stories of how we overcame Gil, the final boss, whenever he would pop Resurrection and restore himself to full health.
Resurrection!
It's stories of how we felt when we executed our first fireball. And it's stories of how we felt when we finally discovered our character, and how it felt like finding an extension of ourselves we didn't think existed. That to me is fighting games. And that to me is also what makes fighting games so different. It's stories that I think can be even more profound than some of the best stories ever written in games. These are personal stories of growth and overcoming challenges that empower us and help us to become better individuals. And Street Fighter III Third Strike helps to foster this feeling in the best way possible by creating hype-filled moments every step of the way, whether it be through the game's announcer,
I'm waiting for this.
the head-bopping hip-hop music, the sound effect of a parry landing, or the iconic voice lines from the characters' supers. Let's talk about the game's characters. The game features 19 different characters, all wacky, fun, and varied in their ways. There are returning favorites like Ryu, Ken, and Chun-Li, Dudley, the classy pugilist, Sean, the youth prodigy of Ken, and Oro, the mysterious and ultra-powerful old hermit. But Third Strike also adds a few new characters like Makoto, the karate girl that hits like a tank.
Say your prayers. Hey! 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 That was
And Q, the eerie iron masked man in a trench coat. In a fighting game, the characters represent the players themselves. Having several different characters with different personalities that are also expressive inside and outside of combat is essential. Playing Street Fighter III Third Strike is so much fun, partially because players can express themselves in a multitude of different ways, with different playstyles and techniques for each character. But Street Fighter III Third Strike is also a wildly imbalanced game. While some may see this as a negative aspect, there are others like me that also see the game's imbalance as one of the best parts about it. While most games seek to create a balanced system, where any character has a good chance of winning, this game isn't like that. In Street Fighter III Third Strike, there are about 2 to 3 characters that really dominate. While it may not be fun on the receiving end of this, controlling characters like Chun-Li and Yun is a blast. If you're interested in pulling off the cheap stuff, play someone like Yun, activate Ganajin, and start mashing buttons.
raw up kicks. Oh, that's gonna hurt so bad. This is gonna hurt. Is he dead? He's dead. He's dead. He's dead. He's dead.
It's easy to use, does massive damage, and is a great way to troll your opponents. And then there are low tier characters like 12 and Necro. You're going to have to work hard to deal damage as these characters. But if you find another player that's dedicated to these characters and knows how to use them, they can seem unstoppable.
Nah, this guy's 12 is ridiculous. Nah. Nah, bro.
Now.
This sets up for intense showdowns where Goliaths within the game fight off against Davids, where even though the odds may be stacked against someone else, there's still a chance the underdog could pull it off. And that to me is awesome to see. Street Fighter III's Third Strike retains much of the classic gameplay design that Street Fighter is known for. Two characters fight one another in battle, attacking one another with punches, kicks, fireballs, grabs, and all kinds of bizarre magical abilities. But in Street Fighter III, Capcom introduced a new mechanic that would flip the series on its head: parrying. Parrying puts a bigger emphasis on defense. Now players could be rewarded even more so for putting up strong defenses instead of always surging forward on offense. In Street Fighter, players block against attacks by holding back on the controller. But in Street Fighter III, parrying attacks means the player has to hold forward, the exact opposite of what a player naturally wants to do. The way parrying works is that milliseconds before an opponent hits the player's character, the player moves forward with the controller. But if you time this too early, the character gets hit. And if you time this too late, the character also gets hit. So why go for a parry? Because parrying a move means the player can instantly counterattack with their own offense right after. If an opponent becomes too predictable and continues using the same attacks as strategies, the defending player can punish them for this. But it's a very risky move that can easily blow up in a player's face. However, when a player gets it right, it can be so satisfying. As the character flashes, the distorted sound effect goes off, and the players can assert their dominance, showing they've got the right read on their opponent. This is why Evo Moment 37 is such a famed and important event. It features two fighting game legends, Justin Wong and Daigo Umehara, who had already made a name for themselves before this. With Daigo as Ken and Justin as Chun-Li, all it took was one hit for Justin to claim the match. With not even a pixel of health left on Daigo's life bar, Daigo had to parry every single hit, and Justin thought he could unleash Chun-Li's super move and go for an easy kill. But Daigo had other plans. At the time, fans thought it was impossible to parry Chun-Li's super, with the super being instantaneous and consisting of multiple hits one after the other. In fact, Daigo had been trying to parry Chun-Li's super before the match but was unsuccessful. With the game on the line and zero room for error, Daigo parried Chun-Li's super. But that wasn't all. As Daigo jumped into the air and parried Chun-Li's final hit of her super, Daigo then performed a full combo on his opponent, obliterating Chun-Li's life bar. It's a moment that set Evo spectators afire, and a moment that helped to create the esports scene that we know today. The beauty of Street Fighter III Third Strike is that no matter what your skill level is, or what you're interested in, the game has an element that you can look at, examine, and take pleasure in. Whether it be the game's spectacular animations, the catchy and rhythmic music that gets you pumped up, or the high-level competitions and performances, the game is simply art. No matter if you've been playing the game since its arcade heyday in the late 90s, or have just jumped into it, Street Fighter III Third Strike is a game for all generations.
Let's get it on now. Select and make your first pick. Let's get it on now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Let's get it on now. Choose and pick the best one. Let's get it on now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's get it on now. Select and make your first pick. Let's get it on now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Let's get it on now. Choose and pick the best one. Let's get it on now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
As the game marks its 25th anniversary, and Evo Moment 37 its 20th anniversary, it continues to be a fun and enjoyable game to play and watch. That's why it's also making a comeback at this year's Evo tournament as a main stage game. Whether you're a casual observer, cheering, "Let's go Justin!
Let's go Justin! Oh! No! Okay.
Or you just enjoy practicing parries online, Street Fighter III Third Strike will live on forever and create even more hype moments and amazing memories that only fighting games can create. Which is why I think Street Fighter III Third Strike is a gaming essential. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you think there is another fighting game that deserves to be on this list, let me know down in the comments below. I'll be happy to check those out. New videos come out every week, so come back again soon for even more on the best that video games have to offer.